Welcome everyone to the Ride Companion 81. I'm saying the numbers. I don't care if you don't like the numbers. I don't care if you don't care about the numbers. I'm saying them because it helps me put a capital letter on yet another fantastic episode with my boy Davi.
Great intro. Appreciate that.
That's all right.
Yeah, I always go quiet at the start and they just let you do it. So yeah, appreciate that. I'm glad I did on that occasion.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, was it? The words came out bit diarrhea-y, but
yeah, no,
whatever.
it worked. What do you think to this? Does it go? I don't know. Shall I get rid of it? I feel that.
What's that? The pink.
The pink. I feel a bit like. I don't know if you could say his name. Gary Glitter used to run the big.
Okay, so I'm gonna interrupt at this point because the majority of our the majority of people are audio, so I have the opportunity right now to change this story. So Davey is currently wearing. It's exposing his belly button. It's a pink puffer jacket and it's shiny and it's got a glitter hood. It's like tinsel around the hood.
It's like baby
and he's wearing nothing underneath.
In the 90s.
He's wearing absolutely nothing underneath, and you can see bits. It looks like entrails, but it's actually peanut butter that he smeared over his genitalia, and it's moving up towards his belly button.
And the belly button piercing, keep it or get rid. I don't know.
This is brilliant. You're doing it for me. This is so good.
I think you keep the belly button piercing, right?
If
they're pretty cool.
If anything's going to bring people to the YouTube channel to watch the visual version of this, it is this segment now.
We had a friend who, a few years ago, and I don't know if you listen to this, said person, but you'll know exactly who you are, who got a tattoo around his belly button, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It was like a sun around his belly button, and he got it like years ago, dude, like 15 years ago, and we were like, huh? Why have you had
And what was his reason? Was there a reason?
I can't remember, dude. It was so awkward. It was like, like a black sun. Like it was all black as well, so it was like, it looked like some sort of rash or something. Sorry if you listen. You know who you are. And anyone out there who knows the person who's got a black sun around his belly button.
I feel for people that have had bad tattoos. I'd love to, they always come up, people post, like if you're ever scrolling through any of the fill-in-blank platforms and you see the bad tattoos, I don't feel like, I'm not like point finger laughing, I'm just so happy that I didn't, because I had those bad ideas.
Yeah, definitely. You know? I've had them, and I've got them on my body, but thankfully a lot of them are covered up, so it's like...
There you go. Okay. Have you got any regrettable ones?
I do regret the moustache a little bit, but only in certain situations. Like, it's funny a lot of the time, like, and I forget it's there, right? But if I'm in a meeting with people that I don't really know, if I'm thinking and I'm trying to, like you're doing now, that's my thinking thing. So if I'm with people that don't know me, they'll, you can see them sort of second guess, look and be like, he's got a mustache on his fucking finger, this idiot. So there's that one, and then I wouldn't say I think it's difficult to regret something because it's a point in your life where you decided that it was a great idea, and
there's two levels as well of my being glad that I didn't. First of all, young, crazy, full of myself, would have picked a bad idea in the first place. Secondly, very unwilling to spend money.
Oh, is that what it was?
Didn't have money, but very unwilling to spend money. So if I had got one, I would have gone to that guy. And we all know that guy. Yeah, I'm learning to do tattoos. He bought a gun off Alibaba,
Yeah, I've seen
he's
a few
squeezing
of those.
ink out of biros into his machine.
I've seen a few of those. There's a few guys that I used to know who one of them got a Monster Energy tattoo down his arm at the top on his shoulder.
Was his thought? What were his reasons for that?
Maybe he's a massive Monster Energy fan, dude. Massive drinks fan.
He really liked as in just the drink? He just really liked it.
Yeah, and that's early days of Monster. Again, I'm going back like 15 years, probably. And the guy who did it wasn't a very good tattoo artist, and it was like really faded and just it just looked. Dude, like awful. Even then, you weren't like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. It was like, no, that's dog shit. As if you've let someone do that to your body. Like, that's brutal. There's some bad ones out there, mate, isn't there? There's some pretty bad ones.
Yeah, I had a nightmare. I don't know if I can say it in case I reveal. Anyway, I had a nightmare that I'd got pissed and got a load of tattoos, and one of them was a tattoo I'd seen on someone who I'm not going to name. But it was, my arm was ripped open and inside there was like a shock and like bike parts.
Oh, yeah.
And like when I was pissed, I thought it was a good idea. And then, not that there's anything wrong with that tattoo, but I wouldn't want to have. Yeah, I wouldn't want to have that now. I don't feel like rip me apart and there's a shock inside. I don't feel, maybe I would have at one stage, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I know. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember one of the first tattoos I ever wanted was Brian Deegan had the malicious skull and then wings across his back. And dude, I was like in love with that. Like I had it on. Yeah. This is going back to like when I was at school. I had it. You know, you used to put photos and cutouts on your textbooks, right? Like you know what I mean. You'd stick all the stuff on.
Yeah.
And that was like on the front, and I was just like in love with it. And he had like Deegan across his back, and I'm like, I could have like birds across my back. It'd be like so sick. I'm so glad I never got that done. Now I really am. But I was pretty close, I reckon.
Do you know that I remember wanting stuff so bad, and it's not a feeling I can make myself feel about things now.
That's so true. Yeah, you're like maybe a different kind of obsession when you're younger, and you're very malleable, aren't you? You're very impressionable of things like that. And
I can't make myself want stuff. Like financial security would be fantastic. Just like a mortgage paid off would be lovely.
Yeah.
You know, but those things aren't like stuff you can just buy, or well, I suppose you can buy your way out of a mortgage, but like. I can't make myself want something as much as I would have. I wanted, there was a cover of Ride BMX magazine, can't remember who it was, nose down 360, had a star over his elbow. There was a period, right, where stars were like very big. Yeah, a lot of stars. I wanted it bad. I wasn't punk, I wasn't whatever the star represent. I don't even know what it represented. I wanted it like so bad that I could like feel, you know what I mean? Like you felt like you wanted it.
Oh man, you know what? The more I'm thinking about it now, I did actually have that a little bit when I got the leg band. That was like one of those things that I wanted.
Yeah, you did. That was in recent moments.
That was pretty recent. That was only last year. Like I wanted it, and I couldn't justify to myself why I shouldn't get it. If that makes it was like this thing where I was going around in my brain like, but it might go out. Not that it's in fashion. That's the cool thing. It's not in fashion. It's not something that people get. So I wasn't like chasing this.
You wanted it.
You know, like the sort of like tribal design, like they were in fashion for a while, right? And you can kind of play someone. Less so now. You were X age at X amount of years on the calendar. That everyone got the tribal or the barbed wire or whatever it might be. The leg band, I don't think that's ever really been a thing, but it was just burning in the back of my brain all the time. I'm like, I just want it. I don't even know why I want it. I just want it. And it also, this is kind of a silly reason, but it makes you stay somewhat fit because of a fat leg with a leg band. No good, or an untoned leg, or do you know what I mean?
Don't want it to stretch out, do you? Don't want it to stretch out.
You gotta have decent looking legs to pull the leg band off. So it's made me do more calf raises in the gym.
Like it, yeah, good.
How stupid.
Yeah, of course. I guess the thing about tattoos that I won't get because I don't have one. I'll never get that feeling of like the decision becomes less. I assume from friends that have talk to me about it that have loads of tattoos. The decision becomes much less as you go on.
You've got more.
Yeah, and it just doesn't matter, and you grow used to ones that even you might not like anymore. But it's just like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Really, it doesn't matter at all. But
I've got my mate's name on my arse, which is kind of,
have you?
Yeah, but his name it's his nickname.
I hope it's not Phil Me.
It's close. His nickname was Sweet Ass. So it just says Sweet Ass on my ass. It's quite big as well.
Is it? Yeah.
Like
you're not willing to show it, are you?
Nah.
I've never seen
it. Another day.
Is it near the hole?
No.
Yeah, don't be.
No. You have to like fully get on this table.
Prize.
Spread cheeks. It's right on.
Nappy changer.
It's right on the inside.
If there's anything that's going to bring the audio listeners to the YouTube, it's that.
It's the spread cheeks on the YouTube. Yeah, I've got my mate's name on my ass. That's one that's like, again, it's just a moment in time that was just funny. We were living the life back then.
Nah, it's good that. I like that.
And then I've always thought, to prison with sweet ass on your ass, that'd be the worst.
Yeah, stuff.
Anyway,
all the best.
Why were you late?
All the best.
Oh yeah.
Worst, all the best. So I'm late. I felt so ridiculous now. We sort of really got into it now, but I thought I'd tell you anyway. Yeah. So my laptop is what I do, what I have Chrome on and what we do the podcast from. So it's my most up-to-date computer. I'm not very good at keeping things updated, remembering passwords, as you know. Yeah. I'm actually pathetic at that.
I mean, I'm
completely pathetic. Yeah, and I almost like don't take responsibility for it because I feel like, I just hate passwords, updates, this and that. I just feel like it's not for me.
Okay.
I feel like
it's not for you until you need it, and then you just like, I wish I was better at this.
I feel like I go through life just sort of thinking, it doesn't matter, the tech support guy will do it. But of course, I don't have a tech support guy. So anyway, so my laptop is, I bought really, a while ago, I bought a TV. It's like a TV stand, but it's like an antique, I don't know what you call it, it's just one drawer, you put the TV on, and it's all like ornate. The fucking thing, it's really cool. It's like French, has like gargoyle heads on or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's nice. The thing won't open this morning.
Right.
So I just think how pathetic my life is. I'm lying on the floor, tugging on this thing. Like, it's antique, so I don't want to tug the whole front off. But equally, it requires a certain amount of force. So how pathetic it is that I'm late for something because I've bought an antique TV stand and my laptop's in it and I can't use my desktop computer because it's not updated. Just what a pathetic human being.
So the laptop was in the TV stand?
Yes.
Right.
And I couldn't get it out. I've moved the whole thing out. I've tried to attack it from the back.
Oh, no.
You know? Yeah. Take it from the back and couldn't. So yeah, I was just in there just puzzling over how to do it. You know, like you're trying to do like small movements. Small movements, like a sideways movement to try and make it come out. It didn't work.
Wow.
Got there in the end though.
Good. How did you get there? The old hammer trick?
Penknife. I went around the cracks. This is unbelievably boring, but we're there now anyway, aren't we? So we might as well finish it. I went around the cracks until I felt the tight spot and then levered just slightly. You know, it's not all about brute force, is it, at this point?
No.
Just levered slightly and...
Especially with such a fine piece of that, like what you've got.
Oh, fine piece.
Where did you find the fine piece? Where's this come from?
Sunbury Antiques market ages ago in London or near London. Went up there. It's mega cool, that is.
Really?
It's like being... I can't think where it is. It's like being in an episode of EastEnders, you know? It's just this outdoor jumble sale thing, but all cool old antiques. I love that shit.
Nice.
I grew up in... shit like that.
Yeah.
Like we've always liked old stuff.
I really like the idea of that stuff, but then it's like doing it. I like the idea, like you're saying about this piece of furniture that you've seen. You've like, you really like it. This is like the tattoo thing all over again. You like it and you want it, right? You want that thing, and I don't have that ever with stuff, with like house stuff especially. But I want it, if that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, if you said, no, we're going to go to this antique place, I'm like, yeah, I got like a wad of cash in my pocket, I'm excited to buy something, but I never get drawn to anything enough to want to buy it. And if I do, it's like super rare. Like, I can't even think of any time that's happened, ever, actually.
So I'm with you. I actually had to force myself to want something or like what I needed something. The TV's on the floor, you can't see the bottom half of it because the coffee table's too high.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I need something to put the TV on. So on the drive there, I was with Bren. We like going up there. There's sort of like a lot of geezers, London geezers up there. It's all cash in hand. Nice. It's all sort of like haggling. Dream. You get coffee, you walk around, everyone's smoking fags. There's loads of old stuff. It's cool. I like it. Nice. I like that sort of thing. Yeah. And so on the drive up, I was just thinking about stuff that I needed. I didn't really have like a clear picture, but then when you walk around and you see something that will fit, and you get into a haggling.
Yeah.
It's quite fun. The whole thing was about the trip, not really about the final thing. Yeah, you know.
And it's good, man, really that you've got like a little bit of an experience, like a day out of getting that piece of furniture. Again, a lot of it's like you scrolling on your phone, like, oh, look at that on Amazon. It's fucking 30 quid. Cool, that'll do, and it gets delivered. And there's no like thing behind it, is there? There's just a click and here it comes. So with that, like, you've gone out of your way. I like that, man. I wish I was more like that. And again, I think a lot of it is. Similar to you, actually, it's the money side of it. A lot of the time, that for me has been like, oh, I really like that, but yeah, I can't have it, can't afford that, I'm not having it. And you just like convince yourself that you hate it, even though you're like, actually, I really like that piece of furniture. But yeah,
but doing that antiques fair makes you feel like I don't want to leave it empty-handed. That's just fucking money I've spent on getting here, walking around.
True.
You know, I don't want to just leave with nothing.
I'm excited to see it, man. Are we going to get a photo to put up on the old Instagram of this piece?
I mean, we can do. It's a load of shit, yeah. I probably haven't explained it well. It's not like anything special, but it was...
Special to you, though?
trip to London.
Special
just
to you. It's a special day out. You know what? We're just doing the similar thing at the moment. We just sort of umming and ahhing with getting a kitchen, doing a kitchen renovation stuff, because we've lived here for. God, we get into our personal lives quite deep on this, don't we? It's weird, eh? But like, we've lived here for sort of like 6 years or something, and the plan was this house was almost like a stopgap. It's like, let's just buy this house. It's somewhere to live for a bit, then we'll flip it and we'll buy another one. We've been here 6 years, dude. Interest rates are going up. It doesn't look like we're going to move anytime too soon, right? The kitchen's a little bit tired. You know, the work surface are a little bit warped, and it's just not. It's just old, right? So we're like, oh, let's get a kitchen. But then I'm instantly doing that same thing. The guy comes to measure it, and I'm like, yeah, let's get that. It's cheapest, dude. Like, cheapest drawers. And then I'm like, well, if we just like cut the whole kitchen in half, then we're going to only spend half the money. So we'll just cut it in half, and we'll get rid of one side of it. We'll just have a wall with some other stuff on, some shelves and stuff. It's so annoying because like Emma's kind of.
It is really annoying.
But it is. When we've not found that home that feels like a forever home yet, so it's like you're doing it knowing that you're gonna leave it behind, and it's just this weird dance that you're playing with yourself.
Hear you. Do you know what, dude? I'm exactly the same mentality as you, and it's like it comes from not having money and like getting used to not having money and making yourself not want stuff. But with houses, I've kind of I kind of believe that whatever you put in, it's just gonna multiply by whatever, you know, maybe 1.5, 2, it's going to multiply. So actually, if you put in a nice kitchen, I have to force myself to do this, by the way.
Yeah.
And also, I'm preaching, but I actually got a free kitchen and ripped it out of someone else's house. But yeah, spending money, I feel like, is the one place I would spend money is on a house.
Yeah.
Because also,
I just want to find that house where I'm like happy to do it, and like, you know what I mean? At the moment, I'm not. I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, but then. Yeah, I hear you, because then you're just like, oh, well, I could put in the nice door, or I could put in the cheap door. But if you put in the nice door, it's all gonna get swallowed up by how much value you add.
Apparently, yeah. Again, I think that's, you know, half the battle with this house. It's like it will only ever sell for a certain amount. It's like you could put a gold-plated kitchen in there, and it's only going to be worth X. It's not like,
no, I do hear you.
It's not just going to keep adding value. It's funny, man. We went out for a coffee yesterday with Emma's boss.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, I know they don't listen to this, but like he's rich. He's a rich dude. Like, he's wealthy, right? And it's funny because where we went, a place called Chatsworth House. A lot of people will know Chatsworth House. It's obviously it's quite expensive. When you go into the cafe, you know, a cup of tea is like £4, and it's quite an expensive thing to do. So it's funny because it's actually the CEO who was with him, his mate. So they run this business together. They've got this like tea hack where they go, because they've got a kid, so they go and buy 1 cup of tea, but then they ask for extra hot water in order to say that they're going to use it for the baby's bottle, but then they just make 2 cups of tea. And I found it hilarious because I was like, that's so funny, blah, 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 because I used to, and still sometimes do that stuff, but we got into this conversation about it, and I was telling him some of like the hacks that I've done over the years and some of like the ways that I found to get into certain venues for free. And you know, I was telling him a story about me and my cousin actually went to see Kings of Leon for free once. We just walked up and we just said, oh, we just won some tickets on the radio. They just let us in. All these little stories about things that you've done over the years to like save a few quid and stuff. Yeah. And it was just so funny because he goes, you know, he goes like, oh, do you not do that stuff anymore? And I felt like saying, but I don't have to. But then I remembered I'm talking to a multimillionaire, so I didn't say it. I didn't say it. But I was just thinking I kind of like don't need to save like £3 on a cup of tea anymore. But the millionaire is like doing it and hustling, and like it was just so funny.
There's something annoying to me, and there shouldn't be, because for years I've, you know, tried to save money wherever. But when someone is really well off and they're saving money sort of that relentlessly, you know, like putting stuff back at the till, and like stuff like that, like how much, and like questioning bills at restaurants. There's something really minging about it, but that, I guess that is because
it's funny because we got our drinks yesterday, and it was like I got a hot chocolate and Emma got a cup of tea, and it was like £8.10p. I still remember it. It's like £8.10p, and I told him, I was like, that was $8
gut punch. Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, it's £5.50 for a hot chocolate. Anyway, and he was like, how much? That's ridiculous. He's like really offended by it, and I'm like, you're a multi-millionaire, but like you still have that same outlook. I think that's great. I think I really like respect it in a way. But the other side of me is like, oh, just let it go, dude. Like, just buy everyone in here a cup of tea and hot chocolate, you know.
Fucking come on. Yeah.
It's funny.
I do like those guys. There's some guy near here that's like, I don't know him at all, but he's he lives in a bunker, and he's like a genius eccentric, and he lives in like this World War II bunker.
Wow.
And apparently he is a billionaire.
Wow.
And you look at him, he looks like me. He looks like a decorator or something, you know. He looks like covered in paint and just like bumbles in. But part of me thinks like, even that is weird. Everything is weird. Every human is weird, and they have their own. Yeah. It's not weird. It's just weird to me. But like to chase money to the point where you have £1 billion and then to just have it is weird to me.
Yeah,
like
I'd rather spend things you can do with it. You don't. Well, I mean, there's a few reasons, isn't there? You don't want to be the richest corpse in the graveyard, but also there's so much good you could do with that. There is so much good you can do with it. Like, it's kind of scary to think.
So much money. Yeah,
so much money. Like, it's $1 billion. It's not even fathomable. No. I can't even say the word. It's that big, you know.
But I mean, he lives in a bunker, so he clearly thinks something's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Man, those people know probably. You know what? Well, man, it's a nice little segue actually, because obviously when we spoke last week, we had quite a deep dive conversation into moral compasses and stuff like that, and it's weird how things continue to present themselves in life as like these little signposts of things that you should continue doing, right?
Left or right,
and then maybe it makes an idea you've already got in your head. Yeah, the idea you got in your head a little bit clearer. So it's funny, we had that conversation last week about moral compass and living like a humble life and stuff like this. And then I went and saw my mum. I've not seen my mum since Christmas because she's been ill. And she bought me a book, right? And I thought I'd just mention this book because I think anyone out there who has any inclination to read, this is like a good book. I'd never heard of it before. I've even brought it. Here's one I've made earlier for our audio listeners. It's called The Road to Character by David Brooks, right? And The Road to Character is I'm only a little bit into it, but it's phenomenal. It's like everything we spoke about last week in a book. It's about living a humble life. It's about not being braggadocious. And there's like all these examples through the book of these people that have led this like humble, they're not like, and also a lot of it's looking at the sign of the times and how time changes, because one of the earliest examples in this book is really nice. It's about this guy who wrote the book was listening to the radio after World War II. And the Americans, I don't understand war, obviously, but I guess the Americans won, or whatever. Anyway, the war ended, let's just say. The war ended, World War II. And he was listening to the radio, and the whole radio programme, just after the war had ended, wasn't like braggy. It wasn't like, look at us, we've won the war, oh my God, we're the best. It was really humble, and it was really about like making sure that everyone out there was safe and happy, and that it was like a different tone of what the world used to be. People didn't used to be constantly talking about what they've achieved, what they've got, showing off, and then how time has moved now into this like braggy social media, look at what I've bought, here's a photo of my new car. Like it's just a different time, and it's a super interesting book anyway. And it's called The Road to Character, and I just think if anyone wants to take a bit more of a deep dive into that stuff, it just makes you think more, man. It's, like I said, I've been thinking about this stuff for a while now, but how you living and why you're putting certain things out into the world, it's super interesting. And there's a lot to be said for just living a humble, like your man who lives in a bunker, he's just living his humble life. Yeah, he's got billions of pounds, whatever, but like just a humble existence of just trying to do right, be good to people, put positive energy out, and stand up for maybe what you believe in certain situations. So The Road to Character.
It's true. Times have changed, haven't they? I can really see that. I can really see
it has changed a lot, man. And social media must be. I know we talk about social media a lot, but like it's a lot to blame for that. That people are always comparing their life, and you scroll through and you're like, fuck, I haven't got I did it this morning, man. I saw a log cabin on Instagram. I'm like, I ain't got a slide in my house. I want a slide in my house.
I want it.
But then you have to catch yourself, don't you? And just be like, why am I even on here? Like, this is pathetic. Just live your life. I'm lucky to have a pretty nice life as it is, whatever. So I don't know, it's a great book. Like I say, if anyone fancies a nice little read, then there you go. And
thanks for the suggestion.
If anyone's struggling for money, let me know, I'll buy you one.
You can't put that out.
Edit that out.
You can't be, but you know. All right, yeah. Moving on. Do you know what it felt like this morning? I was coming up the hill. It felt like elements of lockdown. The ice. I don't know about where you are, but the ice and stuff. That like the roads are empty. There's well, not that was in lockdown, but there's like cars in bushes at the side of the road, and like it fully shuts down the ice. So what is this freeze about? Is this just?
Oh, I don't know. I heard it was going to be almost like I remember that Beast from the East thing that we got, and it came across this swoosh of cold temperatures and ice and snow and stuff, man. But it's horrible. Luckily today we woke up this morning, we didn't have ice and stuff. It's kind of must be over 0, which is nice. Yeah, nice. But yesterday, I went out for a ride yesterday, mate, and it was the worst thing. Honestly, I kind of messed up a little bit because I rode from my house and there's a river crossing. Yeah. Less than 5 minutes away. And like an idiot, I just dabbed in the middle of it. But I didn't just dab, I was just not concentrating. I fell over to the side. My foot went... I mean, the 510 Gore-Tex shoes are fantastic. But when you fully submerge them and then your foot gets stuck in the mud, and then I had to take my other foot off the bike to put in the ground to try and lift my other foot out. It was... And I was less than 5 minutes from home, dude. I can pretty much still see my house. And I was like, this is going to be the shittest ride. And it really was. It was the worst. So my feet were freezing. Yeah. My hands got cold. My face was cold. And I think, it was so cold yesterday. You could see it in the air. It was like glistening little raindrops almost, like little ice drops.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
And I got home,
the vapor.
I couldn't put the key in the door because my hand was so cold. And then I just couldn't warm up all day. And I still feel like shit today, which is what, I know I've got a t-shirt on now, but this is... I've had a fleece on since yesterday, just like trying to warm up.
Yeah, when you get that deep cold. My G's been completely ice blocked. I can't even get into it. Really? It's completely because the locks are so on the outside and like old, just barrels. Yeah, I couldn't get into it. I got into it yesterday after putting hand sanitizer all over it, which apparently melts ice.
There you go. What's your car de-ice tip? You walk outside the house, dude. The car is full of ice. What do you do? What's your go-to technique? Because I've got one that I think is controversial. What's yours?
Mate, please tell me. Please tell me. Because I've just been at home doing stuff from home, riding from my door. Like, I haven't even been able to get in my car.
Wow.
So. Please tell me.
I go hot water. It's controversial, but I go hot water. Man. I know, mate, but I don't go... I use the kettle... But the kettle isn't full of like boiling water. I just run the hot tap in the house till it's like warm. I then fill it up. You got to switch the car on. You got to get the windscreen wipers going. You got to get that water off pretty quick. But so I get in the car on. Maybe leave it for a couple of minutes to warm through. Wipers on, and then I go round and just slowly pour warm, not hot, warm water all over the windows, all on the door handles, all down the windscreen. And that is my top tip.
But it's your top de-icing tip.
It seems to work.
I don't know why I didn't. I just there's something about doing that worries me.
Well, I know it's like I think I don't know, but I think it was an old thing that like old glass in car windows would crack. I think I dare say we've got a little bit better technology now in glass. I don't know, but
not me though. My car's born in '88.
Yeah, you're in the old school glass, so you've got to go de-icer, and that de-icer stuff, man's expensive when you're doing it every day.
Yeah,
you know you're going to do a 4 or 5 pound bottle of a de-icer in every day, aren't you?
I can't do it. I can't keep it up.
No, just bike.
I can't keep it up.
Just do biking instead.
So, I've just been biking. The one plus is that the trails it's -6 here today when I was coming here. Yeah, but the trails are rock hard, so you actually can get a good cross country ride in.
Yeah, but nothing more than that. I don't think you want to be going down anything at any sort of speed, dear, because those ruts are pretty. I found that out yesterday. Although they look like they're going to hold you, they're just rock hard, and you just slide over the top of them.
This weekend I had a wicked day with Jono at Rowgate Bike Park. Honestly, I'm so spoilt round here that Rowgate tends to be just sort of like an afternoon that I pop in there or a morning session. You know, I don't do a full day there. I spent the full day with Jono, Bren, Jono, Chubby Hammond, Jono's crew.
Sick.
And we had such a good time.
Awesome.
sometimes it takes someone else's perspective to make something good again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So like he was hyped to be there. He wanted to try all the different tracks. Jono's mates wanted to try different tracks, and it just made it super fun. And
nice.
Yeah, we had a wicked day.
I seen you hit the Kerr quad or whatever it's called, quad Kerr.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about this before. This was in my notes, right? Because, all right, this is So what was it? Okay, so I ride that quad. It's quite. You have to go. I just go as fast as I can at it.
Looks fast.
And pull as hard as I can on it.
Yeah.
So then when I post something, even if it looks sort of semi-easy or like that's me trying my hardest sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And like I've been biking for a really long time. So then I put a video up. I get sent so many videos of from people that are watching my video that have tried it. So they've seen Bernard do it or Brendan do it or whoever's posted a video of it. And the crashes are so bad, and I feel a bit like because I put that up and I instantly got sent all these videos of people like breaking their arms and
really trying the quad,
their shoulders coming out. Yeah, because it's
big jump.
Everything looks easy when someone does it right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not going to look hard but it is hard because you have to know it's hard because...
Is that something that happens to you a lot? Like, because you post obviously a lot of riding content and a lot of stuff.
Yeah, especially with these like challenges because people take it.
Yeah.
But
people want to do it
a challenge. Yeah, like social media doesn't put the journey into doing that challenge. So, and what I wanted to bring up was this because I remembered something about a skier talking about the same thing about this glacial descent or something, and she had put up something, and then people had gone up and died the next day trying to do the same thing.
Wow!
And it was just this kind of like. I mean, again, we spend too much time talking about it, but it's like the disconnect from a 6-second clip to what it actually is. Like, I just thought I should say, like, be careful. Like, I don't. If someone I knew asked me if they should do that gap, for instance, because we're talking about it, I would be able to tell them whether they actually should. And I would tell if you said to me, I'm thinking about doing a quad, I'd watch your speed in. If you didn't have the speed, I would just say to you because it's like,
why?
You know, like,
and also why
there's nothing in it.
Yeah,
like,
it's not gonna. What you get a clip out of it. Again, this is the thing. Again, right? It's like, what do you get out of it?
Exactly. Yeah. Like I get that it's a challenge, but I just think like, don't watch Bernard Kerr do something and think that. Think about what other things he can do. You know what I mean? Or like just think about what other things Brendan can do before.
And I think, mate, you don't have to be like so humble. You can just say like you know, you guys, especially like that crew, are some of the best riders on bikes. Like, period. Let's just say how it is. You are like some of the best riders on bikes. Period. In the upper percent ranked in the whole world, right? Like literally. Especially Bernard is literally one of the best riders in the world, like literally, and obviously you all are, but like, I think it's important to say that because you can look at it and just think, oh, it's just a quad down my local bike park, but no, there's like so many hundreds and thousands of hours have gone into getting to a point where it's even feasible to try and hit that thing,
and it's always going to look easy.
Yeah, because you wouldn't post it if it didn't either, right?
Yeah, it's always going to look.
I'll do it again. I'll try and get it a bit smoother.
Away from, it's just a funny thing. I thought about it because that's just my experience of. Yeah. You know, we've got like the things I think about are these like the Rampage lineup. He's like, I feel a bit responsible for that because I fucking built it or not built it, rode down it first and put out this content with it in, and then the same with the quad. Bernard hit it, and we've all. Obviously, we're all in competition with each other because we have been our whole lives. So it's fine between us because you're like, fucking hell, yeah. Like if I watch one of my friends do something, I think fucking he's pretty fucking good at that. You know, like maybe he's really good at like carrying speed through a turn or something. It's super like calculated.
Yeah.
When I consider doing it, and just don't get it twisted. Don't look at social media and think, oh yeah, I can do that because. He can do it because you can't necessarily. Like I can barely fucking do it because I'm watching Brendan do it or vice versa.
Did Jono hit
Brendan
it?
will watch. Yeah, Jono hit it.
There you go. All right, there you go.
But Jono's a World Cup racer. He's raced hardline. We forget because he's a funny guy. He's not. He's an operator. You watch him come into that. It's not like you're watching someone just cruising in and like chilling and having a good time. It's not. He's going as fast as he can. And he's gone as fast as he can for 20 years of his life.
Yeah, he's comfortable.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's glad you made it. Have you ever had it before with stuff? Like, have you posted stuff before?
Yeah, Rampage line. It's like femur. I get sent videos of like femurs. I feel really bad. I don't want to do. That's not what I'm out to do. if I do, because it truly is just. For me, it's just I challenge myself. You know, I'm not like competitive with anyone other than my friends, maybe a bit, but not really. Like, it's just we're challenging ourselves.
It's interesting to think that it's like you put this content out and it's like other people view it as like, oh, I've got to try that. You know, imagine like Emil Johansson posting like some sort of crazy flip whip, and then people sending videos like, I can't do it. Look at the state of me, and you're like, I'm not posting it as a challenge. This is like I am posting that I'm the upper 1% of slopestyle athletes. You're not posting it to like, here you go, guys, like, have a go at this.
Fucking see you can do this, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
It truly isn't like that. And if you if you feel it is like that, like all of these challenges are just you challenging yourself. But I just wonder, it must be the same in like, obviously I'm in the middle of like a real bubble, a real scene here. So when a clip gets posted, people want to know where it is and they want to go and look at it, and maybe not or challenge themselves and do it. But yeah, dude, it's fucking. It makes you feel bad. It's never my intention.
No, of course not. Interesting. Glad you brought it up there. It's interesting that it's crazy to think that you'd get that sort of response from stuff.
Yeah. But it's overwhelming. I can't believe how many people have tried it. You know, I thought a lot about the first time I tried it. I thought a lot about what I was going to do. Ways out. Like this is the thing. It's not like when Bernard did it first. It's not like he just tried it. He thought about everything that could go wrong. I thought about my arse hitting my back wheel. I thought about if I have to get rid of the bike, how I'm going to go down, what routes I have to avoid. You know what I mean? It's not like a little thing that you're just like, oh, you can do it, so I can do it. It's not. Yeah, it's funny, man. It's funny. I bet there's terrible examples in other sports. I mean, we're lucky that. You know, that's like one of the faster challenges.
What other sports worse for it? I think probably like base jumping or something. Someone posts a clip of jumping, someone's like, well, there's a challenge, I'll go and have a go at that. You probably don't see any content from it. Yeah, moto. Definitely.
There's probably some moto gaps on tracks, and there is that sort of like one-upmanship, I guess, and ultimately if you're trying to make the smallest number going around a track the shortest time, if it saves time, you're going to do it for that reason, I guess.
Yeah, true. How interesting. That's funny that you get that content. What's your response? What do you say? Is just like, oh, sorry to see that you didn't make it? Or
I try not to. I try not to. I get well soon, whatever, you know, and like get a lot of. I forget every time, and then I post something, and then I'll get all of these messages like, oh, I want to try this. How fast do you have to go? And you're just like, dude, like you're. You have to go so fast. I'm sure you could go that fast. I don't know that you could go that fast. I can't tell you can go that fast or what that speed is. There's no number.
Yeah. How interesting.
Fuck fast.
Yeah, fuck fast. Yeah, fast. Yeah. Think as fast as you think you can go, and then a little bit more than that.
Yeah. And like it's funny because particularly with me and Bren, we've always had this sort of like competitiveness, like to go down stuff. It's just like trials almost, but it's really steep stuff, horrible stuff. And then we went to Rampage. It gets even worse because we're riding, you know, he's riding horrible stuff, and it's sort of like we're all riding the other stuff in the area, and it like opens your mind to what you can actually go down and control and all of that.
Yeah.
And then you post it looks shit because nothing looks good on camera, does it really? Like rarely you get something that looks better than it is.
True.
That's the dream thing.
That's true.
But and then you get all comments like about where is it? I want to try it and stuff, and you just think, don't. It's not. I bet I only just got away with it. I can't recommend someone else tries it if I only just got away with it. Not because I'm the best, but because I can't recommend it. I can't like.
It wasn't fun.
Yeah, it was horrible. Exactly. It was good. It was a brilliant day up Rogate. So shout out to Rogate. Shout out to the small local bike park, because every now and then that's what you need, isn't it? You need a a full day on a little hill, repeating stuff, banging laps out. It was brilliant. Yeah,
definitely.
What did you get up to, dude, other than your wet ride?
Yeah, wet ride. I can't really tell the story. It's one for off air, but I had a great day with a great morning with my dad on Saturday, out buying a car. It was the funniest experience, but I don't think I can tell it just because it won't come across as how I want it to come across. I'll tell you off air. But yeah, my dad and I went and bought a car off some people. That was just the funniest experience. You had to be there. It's one of them. It wouldn't make a great story anyway. But so we went and did that on Saturday morning, and then Saturday I went to the gym, did some deadlifts on Saturday. Enjoy deadlifting. Went to my own little private gym that I'm now at. Hung out there on my own for a few hours. Hit some deadlifts.
Nice.
I think pretty standard weekend really. Like nothing too crazy. Just trying to. The reason as well, I don't know if you can see it because I ain't got good facial hair and growing a little mustache. So I've got a wedding to go to on Friday.
No, it's the pixelated screen. Yeah. Sorry, dude, I can't see it. It's the pixels.
It's so
not.
Shit.
Yeah, it's the quality.
It's
not.
So shit.
No. I didn't mean it like no. I believe it's good.
It's awful.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There it is. So I went. So basically, my brother's getting married on Friday, and I got this little joke going with him that I'm dressing as a cowboy. So I started growing a mustache just literally to add to the joke of like I sent him a photo. I'm like, dude, growing a mustache because it'll go with a cowboy hat. And he's like, please don't dress like a cowboy for my wedding.
Get some mascara in it, dude.
Yeah, I might do. I'm gonna get rid of it today. It's pathetic. No one even notices. It's such a shit facial hair. But yeah, that's pretty much it. To be honest, pretty standard weekend. Pretty nice day though yesterday. Just a bit of biking. Went to Chatsworth. Spent £8 on hot chocolate and tea, and then went out for dinner and came back. Yeah.
Hey, it sounds nice.
Yeah, nice weekend, man. That's kind of my vibe these days. I don't need to do anything crazy anymore. I don't need to be out. You know what I mean? That's kind of perfect to me. I did just have a quick look at my notes. There's a couple of things that I did want to make sure that we covered, which is funny because we record this on a Monday, and then we've had from Monday really of just gathering little notes and insights and things to talk about. And then I sit and look at them, and I'm thinking, this makes no sense. What even is this? But yeah. Okay, so I got a couple. If that's okay, then if you've got any notes, we can make sure we hit those. But I think
we've got the same note.
Okay, yeah, I think we have. We'll get to that definitely. So here's one. This is like a moral question for you. I wondered what you thought to this. So here's something I experienced. We've talked about moral compass, and I forgot this had happened until I saw my notes. So it must have been the afternoon after we recorded the podcast last week, or maybe the day after. I went to my local Tesco. Shout out Tesco. No free shout outs. And in Tesco, I witnessed a lady and her little son.
Yeah.
This is so stupid. Little son.
Oh, I like this.
They were at the checkout. Beep, beep, doing that, self-scanning. Beep, beep, beep. She's bought like a bottle of, it looked like non-alcoholic, like Bucks Fizz. It was something like that. You know what I mean? It was like a cheap whatever bottle of some sort of bubbly. So she's handed the bag with all the shopping in to the young boy, who must be 4 or 5. So they're walking out of the shop, and he's just smashed the bag on the floor. You know how kids do, just smashed it. And this bottle of bubbly is obviously smashed. It's in a bag, it's wet through, all of the shopping's fucked, right? And I'm behind because I was next in the queue, so I've looked round. Anyway, she's looked in the bag, and then she just said, I'm just going to get another bottle of this because it's broke. And I'm thinking, I don't think you can do that because you've paid for it. It's yours, you own it. You're
on the way out.
You're on the way out. You're still in the shop, but you're on the way out. And the store assistant was like, no worries. She just walked around, she took another one and walked off. And I'm thinking, I just wondered, like, morally, could you do that? Like, where do you sit with it? Because I thought about it for hours after. I'm like, could I have done that? Like, it's your fault. You're in the shop.
Yeah.
But it's still your fault. You smashed it. You should pay for another one.
No, I'm pathetic. I would have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Like at times I've knocked stuff off the shelf. If it's broken, I've just bought a broken thing because... Yeah, I think stuff like that would really bother me. Like I feel like I would lie in bed and think about that and feel bad if I'd knocked something off, broken it, put it back up there even.
Because you see it a lot,
I know
right?
that's a different example,
in a
but
supermarket, you see like a bag of something burst everywhere or a tin smashed, and people just leave it, and you just like.
I don't reckon I used to be like that, but I think now I would be.
Oh, dude, I used to eat a sandwich every time I went shopping. You go in, you go straight to the sandwich thing, you get a sandwich, you eat it as you're walking around, you hide the thing behind something. Free sandwich.
Yeah.
I used to do that all the time. Like, that was a thing that I used to do all the time, but not anymore. I don't think I could do it. I don't know.
What is the word? Empathy or conscientiousness? What is it that you sort of get as you get older? As
more empathy,
an ability
definitely.
to understand and share the feelings of another. That's literally it, empathy. So you just,
even if that other is a big chain supermarket, you smash that.
Yeah, but it's still humans at some stage, and someone has to sort of deal with the fact that the stock's out, or
yeah, exactly.
Maybe a supermarket makes it different. I would. With the Bucks Fizz example, I would just imagine the same thing happening in like your local off license, and the family, and it's that they live above the store, and they're struggling like anyone else.
Yeah,
that's how I would think of it as.
Or your local bike shop.
Quid.
Imagine buying like a bottle of degreaser and you smash it on the way out of the shop. You wouldn't just ask for another one.
No.
You'd be like, oh, this is stupid. I've just smashed it. Sorry, can I buy another? Yeah. But for some reason, when it's a big corporation like Tesco or something, you can excuse it and just be like, well, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll have another. I don't know. Interesting thought there.
I was trying to draw a parallel between the mum, the Bucks Fizz being the mum's degreaser, but it didn't really work. I felt like it needed to be lubricant. I couldn't really steer it towards it being lubricant, and the Bucks Fizz was her version of lubricant. Chain lube. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
It's a good
Speaking of lubricant, that's another great segue that we've teed up. So
absolutely, this and now we're into notes.
And now the notes become synergy. So do you want to introduce the topic? Right. I think people wanted us to maybe discuss this a little bit. I'm going to be. I don't have like a hot take, but I think we can discuss it a little bit for sure.
I don't have a hot take either. I've almost saved my hot take for now. So the topic we are talking about is Lewis Buchanan signing for OnlyFans. So he's running like a Red Bull helmet, but an OnlyFans helmet.
Yep.
Okay, so OnlyFans. Talk to me about what your first impressions are about OnlyFans.
Okay, so my first impression of OnlyFans is that it probably started out as a way for people to engage with influencers, celebrities, and to purchase content off them to support their careers. That's how I think it probably did start. And I think it probably did start like that. I guess they probably thought, okay, we can get X footballer or mountain biker or whatever to start sharing tips, and then people will be able to pay for their tuition.
Yeah.
Only fans could pay for the tuition. It's not just thrown on YouTube for anyone to see. That's how I think it started. Is that fair? What's your first?
Yeah, porn site, but like.
But that's the thing. But
no, I do absolutely agree. And actually, strangely, they did reach out to me about starting my own OnlyFans page.
I remember that.
Yeah, we talked about it on here, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so.
And they were like, "Look, we're trying to kick this image." I think it's really difficult because what can a company do to kick its image other than this? So this just ends up happening, doesn't it? So OnlyFans became this porno site.
But that's what, in history, that's what happens. So adult entertainment, porn, whatever we call it, usually seems to lead the way when it comes to technology. So any sort of technology that comes to market, a lot of the time, it's adult entertainment that's driving it, because it's one of the biggest things, right? So it's like the streaming on the internet. First thing that's streamed, porn, right? That's pretty much what it was. If you remember going all the way back, it was the not the Paris Hilton. It was the Pamela Anderson sex tape.
Oh was
one of the first things that was like streaming online. I think. Don't quote me on that. But then also, I think VHS, heavily driven by porn. Streaming, heavily driven by porn. Virtual reality, heavily driven by porn. So this is just what happens. Adult entertainment just thinks, oh, we can use that technology, and they blow it up.
Yeah, its technology is advanced by both military and porn.
Great,
it would seem.
Yeah, it seems that way, right? It seems that way.
Oh, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. I had an interesting conversation with someone who's You know, it's when you meet someone, you want to know certain people. You want to know their opinion on things.
On this,
and they often
topic.
have strong opinions, and they're considered opinions. Yeah, and they were saying that they don't think it should be allowed.
Interesting.
I think the thought of censoring that means you've got to censor. You don't want to have censor. I think you should be. OnlyFans isn't a porn site. It's actually just a place where you can upload and people can buy your content. It's not like it's OnlyFans bumhole pictures. The name isn't that, is it?
It's not.
It's just a platform.
So here's how I've been thinking about it as well. Okay, so let's take and I've actually got a lot of time for Lewis. I really like Lewis. Lewis has been on the podcast a few times. I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet here. I reached out to him straight away, congratulated him. Lol. I was like, you've broke the internet today. That's really good for you. Congratulations. Then I reached out to him after I noticed the comments had been turned off and was like, dude, I hope you're okay. Because obviously some of the comments were pretty negative. There's a lot of jokes.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, the innuendos are endless, dude. Like the jokes are...
But they're not nasty towards Lewis, are they?
I think a lot of them were being quite nasty. Yeah, a lot of them were being...
that sucks.
So here's the way I was thinking about it, though. Okay, I appreciate Lewis, professional athlete, got to make money. Right? And the way he's made some money probably is to sell a helmet spot. Is to take on a helmet sponsor that's covered his head in an OnlyFans logo. But what are who is Lewis's fan base? Young kids, I'd say. Is that fair to say? I think given Lewis's position in the sport, the YouTube presence, the social media presence, his fan base is going to be predominantly younger people, I'd say. Right? Yeah. So is that a good look when you've got that on your helmet? And let's say a kid's like, cool, I want to follow Lewis. I want to spend $9 a month or whatever it is to follow Lewis's career. I want to get the tips and tricks. But going on that app, I don't know. I've never been on it. Does that open up the potential to accidentally spell Lewis wrong and then all of a sudden you're on some porn star?
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. Because actually, if you just type in OnlyFans, shall we do it live right now?
Yeah, please. Let's just let's do some digging.
And this is massively in their defence. For me, this is a point massively in their defence. Because I think if you just type in OnlyFans, I think you don't end up on a site with loads of porno. You just end up on a...
Here's what I did. I typed in OnlyFans, right? I clicked on the very first thing, onlyfans.com. I clicked it, and the first thing that came up is Eva V, at your Eva V, your unique sex blogger. That's the first thing that came up. As in, like, the homepage goes to that, which is how that's... Is it? Yeah. Also, if I put in OnlyFans on Google, the image on the right-hand side is the OnlyFans logo. It's then a woman with some pretty big boobs. Like that. Let me send you a screenshot, dude, just so you can see it. This is
really tough. It is a really tough one, isn't it? So I clicked on onlyfans.com and it actually just came up with a login page, so you couldn't see anything.
I wonder how mine does that though. Mine goes straight to this Eva V. 5 posts, 11 likes. That's so weird.
Yeah, no idea. Down the side it says here, and this is the Wikipedia, or like the overview. It says OnlyFans is an internet content subscription service based in London, United Kingdom, full stop. The service is used primarily by sex workers who produce pornography, but it also hosts the work of other content creators such as physical fitness experts and musicians. You can't... It's primarily used by, but that doesn't mean that's what it's for. So I think there's no way you can say he can't have it, but he's weighed these things up, dude. I think that for me, as a bike rider that maybe has people approach him, I would always think not only about the people that consume your content or like look up to you, like kids, for instance, but also probably the other sponsors. So I would imagine Lewis is like talked to his other sponsors and they've been like, yeah, dude, go for it.
Yeah,
I would imagine that's the case, because you wouldn't risk it over sure, it's out of industry money, it's going to be more than what a bike brand will offer.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be like life changing. It's not like anyone in mountain biking really earns you know, footballer money or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like...
I mean, I was just looking as well. So OnlyFans have also got a Supercross rider, Logan Kurnow. Or Kurnow, I think, whatever you say it. I was just looking like, you know, he's done an interview on Racer X talking about it in October. Similar sort of vibe by the looks of things. He's got OnlyFans graphics. He's not got the OnlyFans helmet, but he has got OnlyFans down the side of his dirt bike.
Yeah.
Man, this is a weird one. I think it's like you've got outside money coming into the industry, which is great.
Yeah.
But is this the right look? I don't know. I am...
Not for me.
No, it's not.
Not for me. Absolutely not for me. But then I also kind of think like Lewis has an OnlyFans page. I've just clicked on it now, so you can subscribe to him. Yeah. It's for free. He's a pro mountain bike rider, and he creates content on the site. You know, it's like you kind of can't argue with that it is just a platform. So as long as he's sending people there, it's not the look that I'd want. It's actually a really complicated question, isn't it?
Yeah, really got to, complicated.
Question what you...
And I think it's like, would it be as much of a big deal if he didn't have the helmet, the logo blasted all over his helmet, if he was just doing it? Because I bet there's other mountain bikers on there. Can you Google mountain bike? Like who else is on OnlyFans that might?
Let's have a look. Let's see if you can.
That might be. I can't even go on it, dude. Because as soon as I go on OnlyFans, it brings up.
I don't want to.
It brings up this girl. Oh,
I'm trying to.
It's actually gone
not
now.
Click on anything. Has it?
Yeah.
Let's try it. Like, okay, so OnlyFans MTB.
Yeah.
Content, because is it correct that they show the Is it correct they show the earnings on OnlyFans?
I'm not sure.
I'm messing up here. I literally can't even look. I think I'm either too old or I'm just too crap at this.
I think you've got to be signed in to see people as well. Like if you Google OnlyFans mountain biker, the whole thing is Lewis. The whole thing is Lewis. Lewis Buchanan. Like the whole first page is Lewis Buchanan.
It is a really tough one. I'm sure he's got an angle on it.
You got exposure because it blew up.
Well, he's done it, hasn't he?
It blew up. You got over 300 pinkback comments for what that's worth. 320.
Right, should we read the press release? Is this boring? I don't think it is boring because it just raises I think as well you can think about other alternatives to it, because so there is a difference between OnlyFans and Pornhub, for instance. If Lewis was running a Pornhub helmet, it's quite hard to not think that is
quite
putting
sinister.
Putting like a pornographic website in front of everyone who watches, which would include children, which is not what any of us want. So
no, it's not.
But OnlyFans is different, and if you're just sending people to your OnlyFans page, I don't know how they go about changing their image, because that's what they're trying to do.
I think as well it's like once that image has been tainted, it's very difficult to taint. It's very difficult to undo that. It was not that long ago that OnlyFans tried to ban porn off the platform.
Yeah, there you go.
And it didn't end well for them. It went straight back on because so many people would have lost out on earnings and this and that. And I don't know. It's again, we're into that whole moral debate. You know, is there anything wrong with people using it to do that stuff if people are willing to pay for it? I honestly, I don't know. I don't think there is. I think the issue is people who shouldn't see it seeing it. That's my sticky point, so to speak.
I agree. I agree with everything you say, but what I reckon we can't do, which we're probably guilty of doing, and anyone on a podcast is guilty of doing, is just sort of like raising stuff, stirring it up, and then not having an angle. And I've deliberately not thought about this until now.
Okay.
So now I feel like both of us should have closing statements,
please,
on whether it's good, bad, what our feelings and thoughts are on it.
Okay.
I feel like we need to be able to just put that in a paragraph. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to try and do that. Yeah, I'd love to try and do that.
Yeah, okay. So let's just have a moment.
Okay.
Maybe we can cut this bit out and we can just think about our closing statements.
Like
as if our statements fucking matter.
Like Jerry's final thought. All right, so my closing statement would be, I appreciate Lewis trying to bring in external money into the sport. I think that's fantastic. I would love to know if his account and access to his account is some way blocks the content that we don't want young people to see. That makes sense? Okay, this is an awful final paragraph, but we'll try it.
No, it's not. I think that's
I think there's a
really
way there's a way to do this which isn't just driving minors to OnlyFans to try and sign up, because it looks like, from what we've seen and what I've just seen, the first thing you're going to see is something you don't want your own kids to see that are underage.
Yeah.
Well done, Lewis.
There you go.
Congratulations for breaking the internet.
Yeah, good on you. You've done a good job. So I think my closing statement would be, I prefer the way this looks to the way it looks if we... I think that censorship should be down to the individual and their moral compass, not down to anyone else. Because as soon as you go to anyone else... Awful closing statement.
Yeah, we're trying.
But I think that is what I get stuck on is, if you were to not allow it because there are underage audience or whatever, I think that looks worse, because you then have to explain that in a sentence.
But so do we allow cigarette companies in mountain biking? No.
No.
And not that it's similar, but there's...
No, but it is, because there's an age. So just regardless of...
There's an age.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was trying to
we
say.
don't.
Okay.
We don't.
But we do allow alcohol. I believe.
Yeah, I just think it should be down to the individual, and I think that's... And Lewis has looked at this and he's decided and he's taken it on board.
He's not stupid.
So I think that it lies in the individual's decision, and he won't have taken it lightly, and I'm sure going to be putting good content out, and he's decided that the content that he's going to put out is better than the backlash it's going to get from all of the porno side of the conversation.
I think let's hear from people.
Statement.
The comments are going to be better to read. Please leave us a comment below, either on the full thing or here on the clip. Let us know what you think down below. Let's open discussion. Let's try and for what it's worth, just try and discuss it. See what we think. But fantastic. Okay. We tried.
Should we? Yeah, we tried. I'm sorry. I did a really bad closing statement.
It's a tough one.
I knew what I meant, but just putting it in a sentence is really very difficult, you know?
That's a tough one.
I think a good exercise is always to go to the extremes of... let's just say, the helmet is a very... the extremes of OnlyFans, the darkest depths. No, okay, so the helmet on a bike rider is sort of like the pinnacle billboard area, I would say. It's the frame for me and the helmet. They're the two fucking, the biggest logo placement is the frame, and then the helmet is this sort of like, it tends to be this out of industry billboard, doesn't it? And so let's go from the mild end of it, which would have loads of money and the moral implications, to the most extreme end of it, like fucking Pornhub or something.
Right.
God, stop swearing. I'm swearing loads this episode. My apologies.
It's okay.
So, what would be the mild end? Would it be a bank, for instance? Would it be a
bike brand?
A helmet, full brand? Paint job? Could it be
some sort of like supplement sponsor, something that is probably a good... Here's what I don't understand how I'm trying to say this, but like a positive impact sponsor. If so that would be I know it sounds like we're trying to do a plug, but like Athletic Greens, that's probably a positive thing that you could put into your body. Okay, now is an energy drink 100% positive? Probably not.
No.
So I think that actually probably sits in the middle of all of this.
So true. Yeah. So you've got like something that doesn't have any implication to the human body. A bank, trying to think, a tourism company, travel agent, something that's like attached but not attached. Yeah, I think it would be hard to. I think really
God, this is hard.
It is, isn't it? I think really like the kind of either extreme is just dictated by your own personal feelings on that product. So if it is like a supplement that you use every day, it's very easy to put that on the helmet. If it's an energy drink that you use every day, it's very easy for you to then be representing that brand. So I get so I guess on that end, on the end of the spectrum that's very mild, it would just be things that you use every day. Milk, it'd be like, it'd be like simple things. Water, it'd be supplements, maybe public transport, just shit like that. Yeah. Oil companies, whatever.
Maybe.
And then it would go all the way to
the most.
Well, maybe not oil. We all use oil companies, but like maybe you wouldn't want to put that.
Yeah, I wonder what would have got the most backlash: the Shell helmet or the OnlyFans helmet.
The Shellmet.
Decent.
It's all right.
Yeah, that's good.
No, for sure OnlyFans, because it just has a knee-jerk, it gives you a knee-jerk reaction.
Look at the response that British Cycling got when they signed with Shell. It's very similar response, I feel like.
But I feel like you peel one layer of the onion back for the British Cycling one and you're like, oh wait, literally everything I use has oil in it. You sort of, you know what I mean? Whereas not everyone is like, oh wait, literally I've just come out of the toilet using my OnlyFans account, looking at pictures of feet. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting, isn't it? Because there's those like a lot in California. Obviously, cannabis is legalized, so then there's lots of like cannabis helmets and like weed stores, aren't there, on people's helmets?
At first, because certain athletes were sponsored by those brands, but they couldn't use them in certain cities. So you'd have Chad Reed actually was on the CBD. I can't remember what it's called, CBD something. And then Dean Wilson actually was on Ignite, but never had it anywhere on his thing. Like Dan Bilzerian's thing, he was on Ignite, I believe. You know, he filmed a video at his house, did loads of stuff, but never actually promoted it because it was you weren't allowed to.
There we go. This is a good one. So this one gets us down. So I wouldn't promote that, and it's not because I think there's anything really wrong with weed smoking, but I wouldn't want to push that on people. I mean, it would be like, it's not that I think there's anything wrong with Christianity, but when it's forced on you, it pisses you off, and it's like, shut up, stop.
Yeah.
I think that's almost comes into it, doesn't it?
That's an interesting point you've made there. Sorry, is that the point of the helmet and the sponsorship is to make sales.
Yeah,
and it's okay. You could look at it as just brand awareness, but also OnlyFans want people on OnlyFans, and who are they targeting when they partner with Lewis? Are they targeting an old audience? Probably not. They're probably targeting a younger audience. And then the same with anything, any helmet sponsor. I mean, Red Bull, you could say the same thing. What are they marketing at? Young people, old people? I don't know. But yeah, like I said, the point of that whole thing is for brand awareness and to make sales. That's the point. So, like you say, you are advertising it and you are trying to justify having that helmet because more people are buying said product. Fair?
Yeah. I think both are a really great example. When British Cycling had the Shell thing, it's not the most suited sponsor, but then equally, how can Shell change their image? How can they have a positive impact? How can they support something that they believe is good without doing something like that? So it's easy to criticise, and actually the same goes for OnlyFans. How can they ever change their image? This can be... Realistically, this is like smart people that have made a really great platform for people to make money and create content, which is the same as YouTube. It's the same as every single other platform out there. So all they've done is created this platform, and it's been taken over. It just happens to have however the internet works. And I don't know. It comes in waves.
I don't know how I don't know how OnlyFans work. Whether once you're on there, you have access to everything. But here's what I think could be a hot take: is that maybe when they're approaching pro athletes and stuff, maybe it's called Only Pros, and it's really heavily
could work for either.
Yeah, very true, very very true. That's great.
Let's not do pros. Let's
not do pros. The guy's fantastic. But maybe
do you ever
only something else.
Do you ever think, listening to this, you must just be able to think, like the majority of the people that listen are probably smarter than us, and they can just hear our stupid brains thinking, like in real time, they're just shouting at the speakers, guys, that's not the
point. But maybe that's the way. Maybe not. That's not the name, but maybe another platform which is hosted on the exact same platform, but it's heavily policed, and the only thing you will see on there is professional sports people.
Yeah, I think that would be a good way. I think you're right. So there's different brackets, and then you go to the dark one that requires an extra password or a proof that you're 18 or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Who knows?
And I don't know if that's a thing, and hopefully OnlyFans clarify that somehow.
I mean, the whole funny thing is the majority of the internet is porn anyway, and it's like if I was younger of an age, I would be on the internet. It's not like I wouldn't look it up. I only didn't because I couldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As soon as I could, I did.
Same, mate.
So even that's pretty weird, and it's not good for you, is it? To see all of that.
It's not good for you at all. There's a great video by Andrew Hubman about porn and how it infects your brain. It's really interesting.
Is there? Yeah.
We don't need to get into something that I cut out not that long ago.
This morning.
3 hours. I don't know, man. Interesting topic. Do you want to do another semi-interesting topic and we'll move on from this one?
But mate, I love it. Yeah, let's move on from it. But well done, and also sorry to hear it to everyone involved in the OnlyFans deal.
Certainly got some eyes on it. Only got some attention. Holy shit! It overshadowed the whole UCI announcement, in my opinion. Like that came out in the morning, and Lewis dropped that news in the evening, and I messaged him, and I was like, "Dude, you've totally overshadowed all of the UCI announcement."
Yeah, there you go.
So well done. It certainly worked. Certainly have some brand power. So I think it was last episode we were talking about AI. Remember, we were talking about AI and taking over creativity. Well, I finally managed to figure out how to use AI in some way, and I asked it some questions, and I thought I'd propose the questions to you. So I asked it, maybe you can guess after, so you'll guess after what I asked it. Okay, so I asked it to write a script though for this podcast, and okay, so I thought I'd read the host, which is me, and you're the guest in this setup that I've created. And then at the end of it, you can be like, "Oh yeah, this is what I think you might have asked AI to write a script for." Okay. So
what? So you've sent this to me now, yeah?
No, I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to read it, and then you're going to answer, and then I'll read, and then so here's what we'll do. I'll read what it thinks I should ask you. It has also written your answers, and then we'll see if you're off.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I like it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is
I think I get this.
This is an AI script for this podcast.
Okay, brilliant.
So, host, this is me. Welcome to our show, where we talk to the most interesting and accomplished people in the world of sports and beyond. Today, we're joined by professional mountain biker Olly Wilkins, who has made a name for himself in the world of off-road cycling. But as we'll learn, his passions extend far beyond the trails. Olly, thanks for joining us today.
So a computer has done this.
Okay.
It's great to be here. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's start by talking about your career as a mountain biker. How did you get into the sport, and what has been your biggest accomplishment so far?
I started getting into the sport when we moved to the countryside, and I'd go on family bicycle rides. I think a natural progression was that I'd learn to wheelie and then to jump, and I went from there. And what was the next question? The next bit? What's been my biggest achievement?
Biggest accomplishment so far?
My biggest accomplishment so far? I don't know, and I'm terrified at the thought of AI making my biggest accomplishment. What it does, because that's really scary. That is, because
it can make it up.
It's just going to make it. It's going to make something. It's going to say something that's just so not my biggest accomplishment. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. That's amazing. Congratulations. So, you're a professional athlete, but you have a few other passions as well. Tell us about your love for jet skis.
Oh, I just love the. I think jet skis perfectly represent true freedom and success, and that's why I got into jet skis. Yeah, I think they're really great. What's the next question?
It sounds like you're a bit of an adrenaline junkie, Olly. And I heard you're also a fan of home renovations.
You didn't feed any information into this.
I'll tell you after what I asked it. It's pretty...
Yeah. Currently painting my house. Yeah. I am a fan of home renovations. They're great fun.
And you also enjoy machinery videos. Why is that?
Yeah, I actually do. I like watching diggers. Yeah, diggers. I think it's just because I have a child's brain in an adult's body.
And finally, let's talk about your love of reptiles. How did that come about?
I was really into snakes when I was younger and into nature and learning all about snakes. They're my favourite animal. Right, can we just make it clear? It's written my answers.
Yeah, so I, in theory, could have given you your answers that you'd tell me.
That is so weird.
Okay, it is weird, isn't it? Okay, so I'll just wrap it up. Host, this is me. It's clear that you have a lot of interests, Olly, and you seem to be very good at everything you do. It's been great having you on the show. Thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thanks, Robot Davy. Appreciate you, dude.
And that's all we have time. That's all we have time for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. That's literally wrote a whole script.
Dude, the thing about it is that it does pass, and it does a good job, right?
Yeah.
So it does pass, but the magic is gone. And I think that's what we need to always consider. Yeah, and like it's going to get better, but still the magic is gone, and you're not going to get all of the things that actually make life interesting for me.
Here's what I asked it. Create a podcast interview script for a professional mountain biker who loves jet skis, home renovations, machinery videos, and reptiles. And that's what it came up with. The first one was funny though. Like your answer when I asked you about your how you got into the sport and stuff, and it says your answer should have been. Okay, so the question was, so let's start by talking about your career as a mountain biker. How did you get into the sport and what has been your biggest accomplishment so far? Your answer should have been, I've been riding bikes since I was a kid, but I didn't start getting into it seriously until I was at college. I started competing in local races, and before I knew it, I was travelling all over the country to compete in bigger and bigger events. I've had a lot of great moments in my career, but I think winning the national championship last year was probably the biggest accomplishment. It literally wrote that.
Right. So it's not okay. So it's not scouring the internet for actual information about me.
No. It probably could though. It probably could.
How weird is that? So that's just it just lied for me.
Yeah, that just made it up on the spot. Yeah, I just literally made it up on the spot.
But I mean,
interesting.
It's so interesting. Yeah, it creeps me out so much. It really does creep me out.
I also asked it, what did I ask it here? Just create a list of questions to make an interesting podcast. I just asked it that and it came up with 10 of those as well. It's weird.
We're playing with it now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
This is the start of fucking all kinds of sci-fi movies where the human race gets wiped out. The human race always gets wiped out. Yeah. It actually terrifies me, and I don't think there's any good in it. We want people telling stories. We want human.
100%. No, I don't think there's any good in it at all. I just interested how it'd work if I just type that in, and it was really hard to make it not make it work, but you have to wait until the server's free, so you can request that it makes something for you. And if it's okay, can we switch to an ad break real quick because I'm gonna wet myself,
mate. I was about to say, let's go to an AI ad break. What would the AI say?
AI Athletic Greens.
I have a question for you, Davey.
Please, let me hear it.
Can you tell me what this sound is? I think you're going to know. I do think you're going to know. All right, you ready?
Oh, mate, that sounds like my worst nightmare. That sounds like unoptimized days in the future.
It's exactly that. Do you know what that represents to me? Is I'm not nutritionally complete. No, I don't have 75 of those vitamins, nutrients, and probiotics in my system. Prebiotics every day. I don't have them.
No, you're not. That's probably what your insides sound like a little bit too. They're just rattling around. They're not complete. It's not a complete nutrition package.
Exactly. I've run out of Athletic Greens AG1.
All right. Well,
what do I do?
Thankfully, I just got a little delivery just landed right now. Do you want me to show you a little bit of what you could get if you take advantage of our offer? I'll just give you a little...
Please. Can we let's do unboxing.
So here it is. This is what's going to land at the door if you take advantage of the Ride Companion offer.
Okay,
so that's looking like this.
That's an AG1 box. He's opening it up to our audio listeners.
Oh, there you go, mate. You're going to get a bag of Athletic Greens.
That'll last you a month, right?
Solid month, mate, yeah. You're going to get the shaker bottle, which is lovely, really nice quality.
Very useful, yeah.
Yep. You're also going to get in there, which we don't have in this box, a tin, the metal one that you showed, and the lovely little metal spoon. That's dope.
Lovely, yeah. What else are our listeners going to get if they use our code?
Yep, you're going to get a year's supply of vitamin D3. It's just in a tincture, super easy to take. And then we're also going to throw in 5 free travel packs. And these are amazing, dude. I've been using these quite a bit, especially been out and about a little bit more recently on the road. I take the travel packs with me. You know, mate, you're in and out of hotels, you're traveling, you're not getting good quality food, you're not getting good quality nutrition. You rip the top off this, you pour it in either in your shaker or in a glass of water or whatever. There it is. 75 vitamins, minerals, nutrients, pre and probiotics. Just like that. It takes all of the guesswork out of supplementation.
It does. And there's no better way to start your day than with AG1. That's for sure. I've been taking it I've now run out. Yeah. Thankfully, I've got more on the way, but I've been taking it every single day since, and I really like it as part of my daily routine.
And I think as well, dude, we're coming into a new year. It's something we've been discussing in the podcast of like making some new goals. And I think one of those goals potentially should be making sure that you're hitting those nutrition goals, right? I think Absolutely. Maybe you're going to start biking more. You're going to try the streak challenge that we forgot to launch. I don't know. Yeah. But, I think it's just a good one to kickstart the new year off with, man. Especially after, you come out of Christmas as well. You've been eating terrible food, probably eating too much chocolate, drinking Corona, Disaronno, trying to make Dr. Pepper out of 2 things which obviously don't taste like Dr. Pepper. Why not make sure that you've got Athletic Greens in the cupboard and you're going to hit all of those nutrition profiles that you should really be having, right? Absolutely. Health is wealth, right? Health is wealth.
What does that normally look like? Normally that looks like a load of different pills, supplements, little bottles, jangling around in the cupboard. You've got to remember to take each one or reorder each one. With AG1, you just do 1 drink in the morning, 1 scoop, and you're done for the day.
Done.
So, if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, the Athletic Greens is going to give a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/ride companion. That's athleticgreens.com/ride companion.
That's right.
For your one-way stop to optimization. I stumbled on my words then. I'm not optimized.
You're not. You can tell that thing's run out. I'll be honest, you can tell it's run out. Me, I'm firing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
My brain's got all the things it needs to be going. I'm ready to go. I'm going to go for a bike ride after this, and that's all because I've been taking nutritional Athletic Greens. It's as simple as that.
There you go. Athletic Greens, AG1. Big thanks.
Big up.
Okay, so we're going to do the AI version of our adverts. Okay, are you person 1 or are you person 2?
I'll be person 1.
Okay, you're person 1.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Person 1. Hey, have you heard of... Okay, take 2. Hey, have you heard of Athletic Greens?
No, I haven't. What is it?
Okay, doing it like that way. Athletic Greens is a daily, all-in-one supplement that provides a wide range of vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients that your body needs to function at its best.
That sounds interesting. What kind of nutrients does it contain?
It contains a blend of 75 different vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients. Some of the key ingredients include vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin K2, vitamin B12, iron, zinc, and more. It also contains probiotics and enzymes to support digestion, as well as an adaptogenic herbs to help balance your body's stress response.
That's a lot of ingredients. What are some of the benefits of taking Athletic Greens?
Some of the benefits include improved energy levels, better digestion, stronger immunity, and better overall health. It can also help with reducing stress, improve mental clarity, and support healthy aging.
That sounds great. How do you take it?
You just mix 1 scoop of Athletic Greens with water or any beverage of your choice and take it once a day, ideally in the morning. It's a convenient way to get a lot of essential nutrients all in 1 serving.
That sounds easy enough. I think I'll give it a try.
I highly recommend it. It's a great way to support your overall health and well-being.
How unreal is that?
Mate, and also we're going to give you 5 free travel packs and a free bottle of vitamin D3 just by clicking the link in the show description. And there you go. What's better than that? Thank you, AG1, for supporting the episode. And thank you, AI, for doing all of our work for us. It's so good.
I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it.
No, that's pretty crazy.
There you go.
That's a crazy one. All right, so before we do some list of questions, there was one thing I forgot, which I wrote on my notes. And that is this. It's just an idea. You know me, man. I like to throw ideas out on the podcast. I like to hit you with something you've never even heard of before. We don't run it past you. We just come in swinging. Yeah, so we got the downhill series kicking off some point this year. I think it's June, July. Who the fuck knows when it is. And it's going to be different. You know, we got only a certain amount of people that are going to be getting broadcast time.
Yeah.
I think it's top 30, broadcast time. Yeah, top 30. So there's going to be someone who's going to sit in 31st place in the men and 11th in the women. They're not going to get as much TV time as what they probably deserve just by missing out by the narrowest of margins. Can we do something to help support those people? Or do we go all the way back in the field and we support the person who finished last and didn't even qualify for the... And what I'm thinking is we set up some sort of like what Win did with the Privateer Award. So we set up some sort of page, some sort of just giving, something like that. And at the end of every race, we just send them half of the money, and then half goes to the person in the women's, the woman in the women's. What do you think?
That's a cool idea. Okay,
could we do
how
some
would it
sort
work
of like
then?
merch? Like, could we do a T-shirt that's helped support these people, and all of the profits from that merch line goes towards that athlete that week?
It's a really good idea. I can't picture how we do it. So
no.
it would be outside of the top 30, would it? Because I mean, that's all going to be pro riders. That's the
thing. Or do we go, like I said, we go literally to the last place finisher who qualified but didn't make it through to like the main.
Okay, so it's not that, but then they've all crashed, haven't they? It's a really difficult one to get right. What we could do is I wonder if we just do like a number selection, a random number selection from like the outside of the top 30
down.
30 down maybe, yeah.
That's a good idea. I like that.
And then we just post that person to say, because I mean everyone, you are right, everyone everyone who races basically is ludicrously fast.
Yeah. But they're not ludicrously wealthy. So that's and we're not going to make them ludicrously wealthy, but maybe if it was just like $50, £50
just to help out,
just buy yourself a meal on the way home or whatever it could be for the men and the women. I think that could be kind of cool, man. It's a nice way. I mean, we did, our Pink Bike League did really well last year. We definitely do well out of the downhill happening, as far as exposure for the pod. Like, can we just give something back a little bit? Maybe when we got the studio, we could dial this guy in through the studio, like just have a quick chat. I don't know, just something.
Yeah, I really like the idea. I think it's a good idea. I think it needs polishing.
Yeah, if anyone has any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. How can we support a privateer, basically, or someone who just didn't make the main? Yeah,
totally. I think that's a great idea, Davey. Nice one. Let's do it. Let's try and work it out. Maybe we should put the feelers out, see if anyone has any ideas on how we could do that.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Obviously, hopefully Win's doing something again. That's just good, man. The more we
Wins is great.
Try and give back to the sport that we sometimes don't even talk about, the better.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
We need to use AI more. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We do need to use AI more.
You could do AI World Cup summaries, and we could read them out in robot voices. Might get old quick.
AI what? World Cup summary?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. We could just ask it, like, write a script. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's so much.
It's so bizarre that you can just come up with copy like that. It's so strange, isn't it?
I asked it also to write, like I said, these questions to make an interesting podcast, and some of them are actually really good.
Oh, they? Yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. We could go to AI when we do listener questions. We could do like one and then go to the AI one. See what it is.
Let's do that. Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Should we do listener questions now?
Yeah, let's do listener questions, mate, and then we can stop torturing our listeners and viewers listening to this rubbish.
What do you mean? Right, listener questions. I love listener questions. Can't get enough of them.
Some of my favourite questions are from the listeners.
Right, Callum comes in hot. Either of you into road motorcycles and racing? MotoGP, British Superbike, Isle of Man TT, etc. I'm going to be honest, I should be into it, and I'm just not. I don't follow it. I don't know anything about it. I don't. I know approximately what goes down, but I don't know. Like, Isle of Man TT just seems absolutely, completely insane. Yeah.
Ludicrous. Never been. But, almost had the opportunity to go. I've got a family friend who's close with John McGuinness, who's got a home out there, who offered to go stay and stuff, but never went. Just never went and did it. There's just so many people as well, isn't it? It's just like, ooh, a lot. But a lot. Again, I've been to a few British superbike races in my lifetime, and they're always great to go and check out and watch. Had a friend who raced BSB. It was at like the lower end of the standings, but it was still good to go and watch him. And the amount of money that's involved in that sport, I mean, you think mountain biking's expensive, holy shit. go ride a road bike, a super bike, holy, those things are crazy expensive, and tyres are expensive, and racing, the whole thing's just ludicrous. But yeah, probably should be into it. I'd love to go watch one this year. That'd be nice. Go check out a BSB or something.
Yeah, it's interesting. I follow Formula One way more than I do superbikes, and yet bikes, two wheels is really what I'm most interested in, I'd say. Like, and the thing that you kind of feel more of a link with to what you get up to yourself. Yeah. Even though we're going at 12 miles an hour and down a muddy path, it still feels like it's more similar than Formula One, and yet I've never got into it. So yeah, it's a good question. I'd like to look into it a bit more. Yeah.
Callum, if you've got a hookup, let us know. Just make something happen. I went with what team was it? Oh man, it's going to escape me. It was a long time ago. I went to a BSB, and it was like with a team, because we helped them out through the company I was working at with One Industries. And it was so sick, man. Just like behind the scenes, just going in the garages. Just the whole thing was really like good seating, VIP. You're in the lounge, all that sort of stuff. It was really cool. It'd be good if we could link something like that up. That'd be sick. Let's go have a day out.
The bikes are completely mental, aren't they?
Yeah, the bikes are just... The whole thing's insane.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's cool.
We'll go to an AI question. AI, what is your favourite way to unwind after a long day?
I feel like the AI just asks such broad questions. I don't feel like it's even really trying. You know what I mean? What's your favourite way, Davey?
Oh man, these days to unwind after a long day, I like silence. Like, happy to just sit in silence. I like to read a book. I like a hot bath. I like to do some sort of, if I'm feeling a little bit tired as well, I'll do like a hot bath, then go outside and get under the cold tap in the garden, which is weird. But I do like that. That's a nice way to unwind after a long day. It makes you feel pretty good afterwards. But yeah, just literally just hanging out in my house. I'm becoming a bit of a hermit in my older years. I kind of like just being at home, especially when it's cold out. You just want to be at home. Just want to eat some nice food, have some snacks, and read, whatever, journal, anything. Just quiet.
Yeah.
What about you?
Unwinding. I really like saunas. And then in order to give myself a sauna, I have to go to the gym. So I actually, even if I'm really tired, I do tend to go to the gym and then go to the sauna.
Really good for you, mate. Tons of evidence around the benefits of heat shock proteins and stuff like that. You should definitely stay in there and do it more.
I also kind of, I spend a lot of time going to the gym and trying really hard. Like, I actually quite like the gym sessions where you just kind of walk around slowly. I don't stress out on like having to make sure every single session is manic, because I go so much. It means I have the luxury of going when I don't really have to do anything. Do a couple of this, do a bit of that, and then go to the sauna. So
they're nice ones. I like that. My gym sessions on a Friday are pretty much that. I just go and it's like almost just listen to your body. Does your body want to do like a heavy deadlift? Yeah, cool. Do that. Does it just want to literally stretch out on a mat? Yeah, just do that. I really like those sessions. They're nice.
Yeah,
good gym sessions.
Fiddle around and earn myself a sauna. But great question, AI.
Great question. Okay, let's not do any more of those. They're pretty shit, aren't they? Do you want to do one?
Yeah, sure. Clipstone. Other Ben's killing it. Ben with Matt Jones. Did you see his sends in New Zealand recently? I mean, yeah, Ben Grist is so good at biking. This is Matt Jones's filmer, Ben Grist.
Oh, right.
And business partner with Hellfair. He's so amazing. I don't know if he rides BMX largely, but he's a really talented rider. So when I see him riding jumps in New Zealand, I think, it kind of doesn't really shock me personally. Because have you seen his 3 tables? I mean, in a skate park.
No, I haven't.
But he's a nasty rider. Yeah, he's good.
Oh, sick.
So
that's cool. It's good to see.
That's good. Everyone out in New Zealand looks good, doesn't it?
A lot of people out there right now, huh?
It does look good out there.
Yeah, isn't there there's an event on at the moment, I believe, in New Zealand, isn't there?
Yeah, there was a whip-off, wasn't there?
I saw like Jackson won a whip-off. I don't know what event it was or what was going on, but...
No. Yeah. Looks good. Looks the dream.
At 2-1 Racing. Away from the bike industry, what job would you want to try for 24 hours? Not allowed, porn star. Okay.
24 hours.
Be a shit porn star anyway. 24 hours on a job. I got one.
Go on.
Firefighter.
Really? You'd do that 24 hours? Yeah.
Yeah, that's been on my list of... It's not things to do, but like as a career is...
To-do list.
It's definitely as a career, there's something there that I could see myself doing that as a job. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do when I was young as well. I wanted to be a firefighter, so kind of.
How interesting, yeah. That I'd be so worried about the level of trauma that you might experience.
Definitely, yeah. And I don't know if I've got a bubble in my voice. I don't know if I'd handle it very well, knowing what I'm like with trauma. To be honest, I don't think I'd deal well with it. But there's definitely something there that I'd like a job that's very much different every day. That's quite testing. You've got to stay somewhat physically fit. It'd be something like that, I think. Definitely, it'd be Again, we're talking about we're just trying it for 24 hours. That would give you that clarity. Did you like it? Did you not like it? 24 hours, let's find out.
The problem I have with the 24 hours, it's a really great question, because it's not just the thing that I'd like to try for 24 hours. Because most things like that, I want to try and be an NBA player. It doesn't work unless you're that good. Yeah. So you have, or like, I'd love to be a jet fighter pilot. I'd love to fly a fighter jet, but then unless I have the knowledge to do it, if I could just like tag myself in and fly jets and I knew what I was doing, then it would probably be that. Like flying a fighter jet would just be absolutely amazing. But the thought of just plonking me in a cockpit and being like, there you go, mate, there's 24 hours, crack on. Quite dangerous.
You do some damage.
Yeah.
You do some damage.
Yeah, so that's
Make
my answer
content.
would be jet fighter pilot. But equally, if I actually had to do this thing, I don't know what it would be. Like firefighter's good. I mean, you wouldn't know what you're doing. You'd just be there like fucking stood there with a fucking bucket.
Joystick. Oh yeah. Oh, you'd be washing the plane down. Is that what you mean?
No, you'd be a firefighter, but you'd be in the same boat as me as a jet fighter. You wouldn't know what you're doing, would you? I'd be like, Davey, put the ladders up. How do I do it?
Oh, I'm awful with ladders. Anyone who's ever seen... Thanks. Yeah.
Putting your gloves on, your helmet's all wonky. How do I do it? Mate, just get the ladders up. We've got to save people. All right.
People are dying.
Which gloves are mine? You're just crap at stuff unless you've done it properly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it applies to both of us, but... I don't know. Some sort of I don't know.
I think you'd be a good antiques dealer for 24 hours.
Yeah, there you go. I'll take that. Yeah, I used to. Yeah, I'll take that. Done.
Ollie Dickinson.
Right.
After you.
M. Hercliffe, what are your goals for 23? When will the companionship become a recognised religion?
I wonder if we can do that. We get tax-free status then. I'll write that down on a list.
Yeah, I know, right?
Recognised religion. Let's see if we can make that happen.
Do you know what? My goals for 23 are very unclear.
How do you feel about being in a recognised religion? Is that funny or is it just weird as fuck?
If it's tax-free, I'll do whatever, yeah.
You're into it, yeah? Same.
Yeah. I'm not very goal-based, which I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm quite free. I'm not that goal-based.
I think it's
always
good.
Working towards being better, but that's it really, yeah.
I think we've got over mine. a few times, which we don't need to get into. But yeah, for 23, I wrote down tons of goals. I think if we're talking about podcast stuff, we just got to get the studio up and running at the moment, haven't we? And we got to there's some big changes going on. And once we're over that hurdle, I think things are just going to get way better and way easier. So that's the first goal for me. It's like, that's what we're doing. That's what we're
It's interesting though, because I always notice, obviously I spend a lot of time talking to you. I notice that you're very goal based, and I'm really not. And I am sort of. It's just so interesting that we reached the same point, but without, with completely different approaches. I think in some ways, and in many ways not.
I just think it adds that for me. Definitely, but for me, it just adds that little bit of clarity. And I have this thing in my head which is really crazy, but I worry about forgetting about things, about goals, for example. You're probably forgetting them because they're not that important. But at the same time, I can be like, right, I really want to, let's say, for example, I really want to read this specific book. If I don't write that down, I'll just forget about it. And then I'm pissed off at myself in 2 years when I go, oh, fuck, I wanted to read that book. I just forgot. So that's why a lot of it is what it is. That's why I write down a lot of stuff, because it just keeps you on this track of... And I think it all comes round to, I'm a firm believer that if you think something, you've almost got to try and make it happen. Same with a workout. That's how I am. So if my brain, for example, today goes, you should run a half marathon today, I'm in my own head and I'm like, okay, so my brain's saying I need to do it. So I'm sure that's some sort of tendency, or I'm leading towards some sort of mental illness. But so if I don't write it down, I'm angry at myself if I've forgotten it. So that's why I have a lot of goals written down, a lot of aspirations and stuff. And it's weird. Mr.
I think it's good.
Kirkcliffe,
it's good, dude.
If you want to chat more, feel free to DM, and I happily share your mine and stuff like that. Hopefully it's a bit of a framework for you to work to. But if you haven't done it, Paul Check's video that he posted about your year in review is fantastic. If you want help and a framework to do goal setting, it's second to none.
So maybe I should do goal setting. I don't know. You know, like for you.
Yeah, but you write lists though, don't you? You're a list.
It's like a daily. Yeah.
That's goals. You just got to keep carrying them over.
Yeah, it's actually very true. Yeah, it's actually very true.
Yeah,
but they're just jobs. They're just like invoice, do this, do that. I don't know. I feel like what I mean is I feel like your goals and stuff are much. They're cooler than my goals. Like it's literally like paint a bit of skirting. Paint a bit of skirting. It doesn't count as a goal. It's just a thing.
I guess. But in a way, it is, because once you've achieved that goal, that means you can move on to something else. Yeah, it means that your house is just that little bit better, or whatever it could be.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Okay, next one. Okay, we're skipping that one, which no doubt you can see as well. The next one along. Chalky 45. Odub, if you were to eat Mexican food out of the shed, what would you eat? Are you laughing at the one before? It's just
What is this then? What is this Mexican food out of the shed? What would you eat?
What shed?
The Shed is a restaurant. I went with George the other day and had Mexican, so I had a chicken burrito. Okay. But it's a bit, so this guy's obviously seen me.
He works there.
Yeah, maybe, nice one, Chalky 45. I hope you enjoyed your meal there as well.
There you go. Oh man, that's class. Okay.
What's your opinion on rigid forks on dirt or XC bikes? I honestly really enjoy biking on whatever. I gotta say, suspension's there for a reason. Rigid's good if you're riding jumps, but it's still better if you're riding suspension for me nowadays. Rigid forks don't really have much of a place in my garage anymore, other than on maybe my town bike, my like pub bike.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you mean by the opinion. I'm sort of a bit. They're great. They're just rigid.
Yeah, it's tough to be like opinionated on it. I think we covered this last week as well. If you
I feel like we did. Yeah,
go back and listen to that FHR.RD. We did speak quite a lot about dirt jumping and rigid forks.
Yeah, there's for dirt jumping, they're great. I just prefer suspension nowadays. I don't know what it. I ran rigid forks for years. Yeah, I guess so. You just get a bit. I watch like Dennis Ennison. Every now and then I watch like a video of Dennis Ennison. And I can't believe that his wrists and ankles can put up with some of the stuff they can. Like the flat landings, it's just unbelievable. And he's like a grown man now, and he's, you know, he must be 6 foot something.
Oh, it's a lot of
gnarly
pressure on
impact.
those wrists.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But yeah, I like rigid forks. I just don't really want to use them anymore. Ran with scissors. Do the up and coming riders along with top pros actually practice basics like cornering? So do the up and coming riders along with top. So should everyone actually practice basics?
I think everyone should practice cornering, and I dare say that's. I mean, it's I don't know. Is it how much of a track is made of corners? I'd say most, right? 70%. I think you're always practicing corners, whether you know, it's not like mountain biking's a linear straight line thing that you don't ever practice corners.
What constitutes it being practice? I sort of feel like every single time you ride is practice. Is it like putting cones out in a flat car park and practicing flat turns? Or because I think about what I'm actually doing when I'm riding quite often. A lot of the time I'm just in the moment, but also a lot of the time I'm like, right, let's, you know, like trying to pull out of a turn early or trying to open turns up. I think about that loads because I ride with fast people. They do all sorts of shit that I'm like, hold on, how did you end up there? So I don't know what you mean by practice. If you mean like,
I think you need that crew as well that's willing to do stuff like that. I think a lot of people, you know, I do it a lot. I just go for a ride on my own, and I'm not going to stop and practice a corner on my own. You kind of want to have a few people to bounce ideas off. Like you say, can you pull out of it early? Can you not break coming into it? That sort of stuff. I think to me that's what just a good session on a few corners looks like. It's just practicing a corner over and over and over and over again until you've done it every which way you can, and then you discover which is the fastest.
Yeah, it's funny. I just think of every ride is practice in a way. So I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know really. Yeah, I think everyone practices all the time. Yeah, I think anyone who's good thinks about it.
I agree.
Good question.
Great question. Fantastic question. Love it. Next one. Boylet91. Dream podcast guest for you and Ollie. I'd love to see Petey on the Ride Companion. I'd love to see Pete on the Ride Companion too, and maybe one day it's going to happen. Who knows? We will see.
I'd love to have Petey on here. It'd be great. It's actually, we need to get him on actually, don't we? We need to get Petey Dog on.
We do need to get Petey Dog on. He's been on before, but not really. He has been on when we did a gamble film special. Yeah.
I mean, Petey would be a dream podcast guest, actually. You've just completely, you're spot on, Boiler. Petey, growing up is so important, and, you know, for anyone who rides mountain bikes in the UK, if not the world. So, he'd be up there with the dream podcast guest. What about outside of bike riding? What would be your dream podcast guest? I feel like you're a good person to ask for this.
I go with, at the moment, it changes quite a lot. Ryan Sheckler.
Would it? Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Big fan of Ryan Sheckler and just interested in his journey. Ryan Sheckler's probably going to be up there actually with one of the main ones. Not because I'm even into skateboarding, just more of his journey of being that young and being pro so early and making so much money and addiction and all that sort of interesting stuff. And then fully out of action sports. Man.
It's a really tough one, isn't it?
Graham Hancock.
Do you know what I almost think as well? But but like part of me thinks, all right, Graham Hancock, great. But then what hasn't he talked about on a podcast already? Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to bring?
Yeah.
And not you specifically, but like us. What would we ask? Yeah,
Nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nothing. He doesn't, like, he's just going to be talking to two people that he's just like layman's terms and everything. Like, this is like the most basic way of explaining this. But I think everyone has a story, and I think it's important to recognise that just because they're the biggest name doesn't mean that they're going to make the best episode.
No, you're quite right.
There's been people on this podcast that, you know, I loved before all the lockdown companion stuff, just putting episodes out and I wanted people to be like, huh? Like, who's this?
Yeah.
And they're the best episodes. One that springs to mind would be Aaron, the guy who was paralysed from a motor injury. Aaron, apologies, I've forgotten his name. I'm so sorry. That's annoying because I was actually emailing with him just the other day.
Yeah. But yeah, you're quite right. You don't know until you're in there.
Aaron Baker.
Okay, yeah.
Fantastic guest. Netflix documentary came out about him. All this cool stuff, and I was excited to put it out because I thought no one's going to know who this guy is.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't know. Like, there's so many people. Everyone's got a good story, and that's one thing that I've loved about podcasts ever since discovering it. Joe Rogan's a prime example. You don't know who 99% of these people are that go on there, but they're the most interesting conversations. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily think it's about. Hey. Fingers crossed, right? There is a small chance that we got Paddy McGuinness coming on.
Is it? Not next week.
Not next week.
Because he's into mountain bikes now, eh? Yeah.
There's a small chance. We've been going back and forth. I've been going back and forth with someone who knows his manager, and his manager's meant to be sending an email this week to try and link it up. So we'll see.
Brilliant. That'd be good.
We'll see. We'll just throw it out there into the ether again. But
brilliant.
There's a small chance that we might have Paddy McGuinness on for a chat.
That'd be good. We need to get a guest on next week anyway. Let's get a guest on next week.
Yeah, I think we got one lined up. The one that I sent.
Amazing. Brilliant.
Yeah, I think we got that one. That could be really good. So big mountain bike news coming, an exclusive on this podcast.
Excellent.
That's what we want. Should we do a couple more?
Yeah, let's do a couple more. Right, okay. Do we secretly, this is from Elliot's8787. Do we secretly crave exclusivity, paying to play it my way with my people? Okay, I think what he's getting at is like the Patreon thing and the like. I guess when you comment on someone's a famous person's Instagram, is that what that's?
I don't know. I don't quite understand. Do we secretly crave
with my people?
Do we secretly crave exclusivity? Okay, let's try and think about that. So, do we secretly crave exclusivity? Do we like want to do our own thing? Do we want to be feel like cooler than other people? Is that what that might mean?
Paying to play it my way with my people. I guess it's like sort of the tribal thing. You know, the kind of being part of a group and it's interesting, isn't it? Paying to play it my way with my people. I'm thinking immediately, straight away, I just thought of this as like a Patreon thing. Like paying to play it my way. God, yeah. Do you know what, Elliot? If you can clarify, we'll
go into it, but I'm not too sure what that means. I'm not too sure what that means at all. Let's go to one that came in actually through a DM, which was from Ricky Ricardo 1993, and he asked, so, me and my partner broke up this week. We would always go riding together, and it became our little thing, our happy place, so to speak. Now we've broken up, I'm really struggling to see how I'm going to motivate myself to go riding. We recently moved away, so I don't have any friends to go riding with over here. Do you guys have any tips/advice on how to take back my hobby? Do I just keep at it and hope that time heals, or do I find a new hobby? There you go.
Really sorry to hear you going through a hard time, and I hate the fact that something, bike riding is a real escape for me. If something goes wrong, it's pretty it's pretty surefire way of just sort of clearing your mind, and if it's linked to that exact sadness, then that must be really, really difficult. Actually, that must be really hard.
For sure.
I tend to sway towards, regardless of how it makes you feel, not giving something the power to ruin your day. And bike riding should be something, I don't know if this is good advice, I never really know, but bike riding should be something that you've enjoyed prior to your previous relationship, and I wouldn't give it the power. Don't let it become a thing that represents you and this other person. It's your thing as much as it is your past relationships thing, and she's probably going to be feeling the same way, and take the power back, enjoy it, because it's great to have an escape, and it's a big loss when people lose their hobby or their passion, I think.
Definitely. I 100% agree with you, Ollie. That's lovely advice, and I think it's also sad to hear that maybe he doesn't have many new people to go biking with, so for sure reach out to people. I always say the Facebook group that we've got, the closed one, just put in there where you live. Is there anyone local to go riding with? Just find a community that you can put yourself in a little bit and get your mind out of, that side of biking where you shared it with your partner, and just get back into a group of people that you think are going to be a bunch of fun, and just go and enjoy it for what it is, which is biking with friends.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Hopefully we're good at advice. I always worry about advice like that. You know, when someone's actually having a shit time, you don't want to give like crap advice, do you?
No. It's tough though. If anyone else has got advice, has anyone been through something similar? Leave us a comment in the show description and in the comment section, and Ricky can no doubt have a bit of a flick through, and yeah, hopefully. And also, what you got to remember is, like, you think when you go through these breakups, it's the worst thing ever, and that life's never going to be the same again. And you're right, it's not going to be the same again, but chances are you're going to find someone else further down the line, and it's going to be okay. It feels awful at the start. We've all been through breakups. It feels like the worst time. But in just a few short months, you'll look back, you'll be like, oh, I'm all right again. Everything's good.
Yeah.
And biking will help you get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think some of the biggest moments of clarity are after those kind of traumatic things happen. I think where you find yourself again is quite a nice feeling, where you feel actually happy. Just going out, hopefully for you, going out for a bike ride again will, at some point in the future, you're going to go for that bike ride and you're going to be like, oh, I'm actually all right now. I'm glad that I didn't just sack this off, because it is something I enjoy personally, and it didn't have to be linked to that relationship.
Totally.
Cool. Okay. Loose Riders England. Can action sports start talking about rotations as 1.52, etc., like the rest of sport? Maths is hard. I hear you, dude. When you watch like when we were talking to our past guest, if you haven't heard the episode, it's Jamie Nichols, the snowboarder. When he talks about just the level of spins, it's like, what, you know, like I think I go up to 1440 and then I'm lost.
Yeah.
1260, 1440.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I'm trying to think. 540, I think 720s 2 spins, right?
Yeah. 720. I've done 720s. And it feels like you're in a washing machine. Yeah, I can't believe that people go beyond 720. Like, I could only just make a 720 work, and
wow,
further than 720 is bizarre to me on a mountain bike. Anyway,
what was the process of going from a 3 to a 720? Is it just, how do you rationalise it,
mate? I'm weird as anything with it, because I literally landed, I think, one of my first attempts. I crashed when I was younger.
Yeah.
Only ever on dirt. I've never done it anywhere else. I crashed 720 when I was younger on a step up at some trails, and then I guess I was like 20 something, and I just did one at Woburn. I did it like literally first try, rolled away from a 720, and all I did was spin as fast as I can. But I think you don't give yourself enough credit that you do know where you are in things. You're way more aware without realising. So
yeah, it's not a simple hook and hope. You've done threes. You know.
I tell you what, I've landed more 720s than I've crashed, which is mega weird, because it's not like very strange.
That's rad. Nice, good work.
But yeah, I'm with you with 1.52. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. At T Denman 93. Update on the Spring Invitational. Thought it was a great shout. No real updates as of yet, I don't think, but would love to. Trying to think of venues already. Like, let's mix it up a little bit. Can we find another venue? I think I got one in my head that I'd love to use, but
I like it. Yeah. We've sort of just organically have events and things happen, and you kind of get to hear the work process, the brainstorm process. It works quite well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd love to do something. I mean, when's spring? End of March, is that when spring starts? So I'd like to think maybe April we could do a Spring Invitational.
Yeah, I'm up for that. Well, there's actually another question from U Tree Landscapes Limited. Sadly missed the Crimbo ride due to injury, so super keen to hear more about the spring ride. So yeah, it seems like there is we got three. Absolutely, yeah.
All right, let's see what we can do. We'll try and find a venue and a day. Probably do like I got this little idea in my head that I spoke to Olly about briefly off air about, you know, maybe we can do a bit more of a series than try and keep doing Freedom Ride, but maybe there's 2 or 3 events throughout the year that are similar to Freedom Ride that have just got different names. And I also really like the idea of a Spring Invitational logo. So that's ultimately the most important thing, is what does the logo look like?
Yeah.
and then we build from there.
Yeah.
Spring Invitational. Yeah, it could happen. I reckon April we do some sort of gathering at a trail centre, and we try and bring a few brands along for people to see and engage with. And who knows? Who knows? It's so funny. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Why not? Why not? Hey, there's one here that caught my eye from Sketch. He often writes in a podcast tier 1.
Yeah, tier 1.
What other activities alter for the better with the mere smallest of change? So I think what he's referring to is like, let's say for instance you're struggling on a bike ride, someone tells you, "Oh, just look up a bit," and then it makes a big difference. So like, what advice in life have you been given that makes a big change?
In life, we're talking life. All right, okay.
Or like anything. It can be like sawing a piece of wood. Like put your thumb against the side of the blade and then you won't cut your fingers off. Little things like that. That's maybe a shit example. But I have loads of examples of those where in life people have told me little things and then it helps loads. Like putting a tyre on. You always get stuck around the valve, so don't ever do the valve up. Push the valve through, so there's gap for the bead to go into the middle.
It's a good one.
Like as soon as you understand the mechanics of it, you're like, oh yeah, it makes sense. It makes it way easier. There's more like that, and I'm struggling to think of them.
Always have one of those fake £1 coins on your keyring, because then you can always get a shopping trolley.
That's really nice.
That's a good one, isn't it? That's a good one.
Really,
that saved
really
me
nice.
a few times. That has saved me a few times.
Yeah. I always I have just like travel plugs in my bag, because I only ever take one bag away. So you just leave travel plugs in a charger, and then it's just a thing ticked off that you don't need to ever worry about, try and find.
Yeah, I think every time I go away and stay in a hotel or something, I have to buy a toothbrush and toothpaste. So always, if you can, remember to have a spare toothbrush and toothpaste.
Yeah, I actually
always
do
buy.
That. I
always have to buy it.
I have toothpaste in my bike bag.
There you go.
Yeah,
minty fresh.
We've got to come up with better ones than this, because I feel like it's a really, really good.
This is the problem sometimes with doing these on the fly.
Yeah.
A day to think about that. I reckon I could come up with a few goodies. But
some bangers, yeah.
Any more little tips that make life easier?
They're like hacks.
Throw them in the comment section.
Like this is a good hack. When the sun is in your face, you just put your hand up like that, and then that stops it. So,
what I've discovered recently, which is a lovely hack in life.
Go on.
Is slip-on shoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got some Etnies, like just slip-on shoes, because how much time do you waste doing shoelaces up?
Yeah, it's true.
The amount of minutes I've saved, mate, in the last few months just slipping shoes on and going straight outside is so good.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm really enjoying them, to be honest.
There you go. Do you know he actually continues on from that question, and he says just by cutting an apple, it makes it a much different experience.
So true.
I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's a bit of a different angle to what we were talking about, like. But it is. But it is
I do that. I do cut apples because I've got a fake front tooth. Yeah. And I'm scared. I don't bite anything with my front teeth.
There you go. Yeah.
I don't bite into stuff. I always either side bite or I cut stuff. So apples. Are one of those things. It was actually the last time this tooth fell out, and I'm scared of the dentist. So it's really traumatic if this happens. I mean, I will literally cry because I'm so scared of going. Was I bit into a baguette, and my tooth just came out, so I don't buy anything anymore.
There you go.
Yeah. So basically, there's not even any point having teeth. So,
dude, should we do one more each? We've actually managed to get this podcast to 2 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do one more each, and then then get out of here, because I feel like people's ears will have healed over and dried up.
Yeah.
Free Road Fiesta was dope. From Francis D, absolutely. It's really cool to see. That's Johnny Salido's event in Mexico. They look like big jumps. Apparently, they're dropping like flies out there. They're quite hard to judge. I spoke to Even the other day, who was out there.
Okay.
I mean, it highlights actually at the minute there's not much going on in the way of like mountain bike news. and Freeride Fiesta. I look forward to more coming out from that. So far, I've only seen sort of like social media stuff. I look forward to the event roundup.
Definitely.
That's a cool thing that's gone on in biking.
Yes, that's a great one. I'm going to go to AI for our last question.
Okay.
Here we are. If you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Eric B. and Rakim, Don't Sweat the Technique.
Banger. Death Grip Film. That was your Death Grip Film bit, right?
No, it was a different one, but it's by the same artist.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. So you're going to go with Eric B. and Rakim, Don't Sweat the Technique, and I'm going to go...
Which will get very samey for the rest of time, but whatever.
Yeah, I think anything's going to get samey for the rest of time, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Meatloaf, Dashboard.
And I would do
Confessional.
Anything. Is that it?
Yeah, no, the other one. Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Paradise by the Dashboard Light. That's my hitter. You can never get sick of that. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate the shit out of you for listening, watching, whatever it is. Don't forget, this is important now. Like, subscribe. If you're not already subscribed on YouTube, we just went over 9k, which is pretty good. Pretty happy with 9k, but ultimately we need to get to at least 90k. So can you unsubscribe and then subscribe again? That makes a huge difference. It's a little hack we found. So just like, subscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe again.
A big thanks to everyone for all of your help, all of your comments, all of your questions, because actually there were so many questions this week and I feel bad leaving now, but we've blabbed on for long enough about literally nothing, which I appreciate you for, Davey, and I have had a lovely time. Thanks for listening to TRC 81. Peace and love.